We've heard a lot from the Trump family over the years, but now it's Tiffany Trump's turn. Unlike her siblings, she's kept things low-key, staying out of the political chaos until now. Tiffany has finally broken her silence on her father, Donald Trump. And let's just say it's not the glowing praise he's used to. Some call it shocking, but the real question is, why now? And what exactly did she reveal that has people talking? Buckle up, because by the end of this, you'll either be stunned, nodding in agreement, or wondering just how deep this story really goes. Come along. Marla Maples and Donald Trump were married from 1993 to 1999, and in that time, they had a daughter, Tiffany. But after their highly publicized divorce in 1999, Marla and a young Tiffany packed up their lives and started fresh in sunny Calabasas, California. Unlike her half-siblings, who grew up in the fast-paced, gold-plated world of New York, Tiffany's childhood was quite different. While Donald Trump's older kids were surrounded by skyscrapers, high-powered meetings, and the constant buzz of their father's empire, Tiffany's life in California was the complete opposite. Picture a spacious house with a big backyard, a trampoline, and a peaceful, nature-filled atmosphere. That was exactly what Marla wanted for her daughter. A life rooted in simplicity, far removed from the steel and ambition of New York. Tiffany Trump has always been quiet, too quiet. While her father's presidency and post-White House years have been filled with controversy, she remained on the sidelines. But now, she's stepping forward with a revelation that could change the public's perception of Donald Trump forever. What did she say, and why is it so bad for him? You need to hear this. Marla wasn't just raising Tiffany, she was dedicated to giving her a normal and well-rounded childhood. Unlike some celebrity kids who grow up in a bubble, Marla ensured Tiffany stayed grounded. She poured her entire heart into creating a warm, balanced, and healthy life. Home-cooked organic meals, tennis matches, outdoor activities, and humanitarian trips to places like Malawi were all part of Tiffany's upbringing. And of course, there were little traditions, movie nights, bonding moments that created a sense of normalcy in their lives. Even though Tiffany had a different upbringing from her half-siblings, she wasn't entirely cut off from the Trump world. She attended the prestigious Viewpoint School, where tuition alone was around $30,000 a year. Despite Marla's efforts to keep her life balanced, Tiffany still found herself in high-profile social circles. But Marla remained firm. Tiffany needed to find her own identity, not just be known as Donald Trump's daughter. Tiffany once said, "She moved us out of New York to get out of the spotlight and let me grow up and find my own identity versus being in the shadow of a name." Tiffany and her father weren't estranged. Though she was raised on the opposite coast, she still maintained a connection with Donald, albeit through carefully planned visits. She made trips to New York, stayed at Trump Tower, and shared meals with her father and Melania. Donald showed up for the big moments, school events, award ceremonies, but everyday parenting, that was all Marla. Her daddy is a good provider with education and such, but as far as time, it was just me, Marla once said. Despite the distance, Marla never wanted her own feelings about Donald to influence Tiffany's relationship with him. "I just said it's important for her to form her own relationship with him without my input," she explained. And so, year after year, Tiffany split her time between the peaceful West Coast and the high-energy world of Trump Tower and Mar-a-Lago. During the 2016 presidential campaign, Tiffany stepped into public life for the first time. Unlike her siblings, who were already deeply involved in their father's business and political world, Tiffany had been more of an observer. But in 2016, that changed. She started making public appearances, showing support while keeping things understated. One of her first major appearances was at a White House event for the Wounded Warriors Project. She wasn't there to make bold political statements, but rather to show her support in a quiet way. Tiffany also used fashion as a form of subtle expression, frequently wearing designs by Taorui Wang, a Chinese designer. While her siblings favored traditional American designers, Tiffany's choice stood out, adding an international flair to the Trump image. By 2020, her tone had shifted. Her Republican National Convention speech was no longer just a warm tribute to her father. Instead, she took a strong stance on media and tech, warning that people's thoughts and votes were being manipulated and visibly coerced. This was a different Tiffany, one who had found her voice in politics. During Trump's presidency, Tiffany's relationship with him became more distant. They still talked, but sometimes months would pass without a conversation. She focused on law school at Georgetown, carving out her own path away from the political spotlight. In 2019, a presidential assistant claimed Trump didn't like taking pictures with Tiffany because of her body. Trump quickly denied it, saying, "I love Tiffany, but the damage was done." Whether true or not, it raised questions about their relationship. By the 2020 RNC, Tiffany's speech had evolved. Unlike Ivanka, who spoke of her father in personal terms, Tiffany kept her words formal, endorsing his policies rather than painting him as a doting dad. This alone spoke volumes. In 2024 and 2025, Tiffany's role in the Trump family has continued to evolve. With Ivanka stepping back from politics and her brothers remaining in the public eye, Tiffany has had to find her own balance between family loyalty and personal independence. At the Milwaukee convention in early 2025, she greeted her father warmly, but the interaction felt slightly off, a reminder of their complex relationship. Still, she has been making more appearances at key campaign events, delivering speeches, and showing support. Trump has acknowledged Tiffany more publicly in recent years, even celebrating her pregnancy at the Detroit Economic Club. Sources say the Trump children now have a better understanding of their father's political strategy, making their interactions feel more natural rather than just political theater. Ultimately, Tiffany has found a way to support her father while maintaining her own identity. She has spent years defining herself outside of his shadow, and while their relationship may never be as close as Donald's with his older children,